Welcome back to the F124 driver career. Thank you for your patience in waiting for this next instalment of the save. We hope to have it to you a bit more regularly than once every 2 weeks moving forward for the rest of this season, because we are embroiled in a massive title fight. Our form has been okay. Someone else's form has been red hot of late. Lando Norris has 4 straight wins to match my streak and beat Charles Leclerc's streak from earlier in the season. Charles won 3 of the first 4, I won the next 4, Lando's won the next 4, and there are 3 points between myself and the other British driver in the top 2. Lewis is only 39 points behind myself. Charles is only 20 points behind myself, so there are 3 British drivers in the top 4 positions. My teammate George is a little ways off the pace, but a couple of DNFs for him have certainly hampered his progress. With regards to the constructors, we're only 14 points behind Ferrari, so proper challenge in both title races this season, which is actually really refreshing. It's nice to have that. So fingers crossed we can do something here in Belgium. It's going to be difficult though. You'll notice the weather. And then for the race, oh, tough one. Starting dry, then very quickly getting wet, and then at the end, dry again. So it's going to be a really intriguing race here in Belgium. Certainly going to be cat amongst pigeons, and weather is going to be practically impossible to try and predict. So we'll do what we can in practice. We'll get running in dry conditions and wet conditions in practice. I'll make sure I do some of P1 and some of P2, so I get an idea of how the car feels in both sets of conditions. And then hopefully we can have a better qualifying than we've been having of late, and then fingers crossed actually perform well. We've got P8 in Hungary. It didn't go well for us there. Prior to that though, we were on a streak of 7 straight podium finishes at least. I would like to at least be back on the podium, if not top step of it here. Lando is looking very tasty right now. He's probably at this stage the favourite for the championship, although myself and Charles Leclerc certainly are at good odds as well. Do drop the video a like to ensure the content is pushed to new people. I'd appreciate it very much. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more of this save. Of course, the Journeyman save on FC is continuing on. We're currently at New York Red Bulls, and we've just signed a certain someone up top. Oh no. So do check that save out if you haven't seen it, and check the RTG over on the main channel too. For now though, we're going to go broom broom. They literally just went broom broom in testing above me because some glass fell on the track and there were brushes out on circuit, and hopefully we can be all right in the wet and the dry in Spa. Typical Belgian Grand Prix weather this.
Fully immersed in the beautiful
sideways rain. All the resource points are in. The car feels okay. It's just a matter of whether we are or aren't competitive with the slightly more wing that I'm going to run. If you remember Zandvoort last season, in the dry we were competitive but not rapid. But then in the mixed conditions, when the rain came, we were significantly quicker than almost everybody else on track because we were running that little bit more wing. And I'm going to try that here as well. So I am running more wing. We might not qualify very well, but it might mean that in the race, we are significantly more competitive. We shall find out in due course. I'm going to put some fresh parts in the car. I very nearly forgot. Put brand new bits in the car, in fact, because it's such a power-hungry circuit. Obviously, some components I can't put brand new bits in, but in most cases we can. Put the fresher bits in. Brand new gearbox as well. We are all set to go for the Belgian Grand Prix. Fully dry in qualifying, so not going to qualify well, I don't think, but hopefully we can race well. That was poor. A 40.7 is not bad. 40.7 is not bad at all. It's first for Q1. Okay. Running a lot of wing, but even in the dry, might. Obviously, they're going to get a lot quicker as the sessions go on, but it might work. 2 milliseconds between myself and Lando. That's quite close. Any shock eliminations here? No. Everyone that you would expect. Well, maybe Sergio Perez is a shock, but Sergio Perez, so probably not. Max down in 15th is a surprise. Maybe he only did 1 run, I'm not sure. But certainly you'd expect him to qualify higher up than 15th moving forward. Oh, 40.1 from me. I think that's P1 again. Well, Charles did a 40.2, and I was like, yikes, I'm not getting anywhere near that after doing a 40.7 in Q1. And then I've gone and beaten my previous time by 6/10. Wow. They will take another step in Q3. Whether we can live with that step, I am more doubtful. Told you Max would qualify a bit better than he did in Q1. He must have only done one run, perhaps. Both Alpines out now. One of the V carbs. Both Williams now out, and both Hasses now out as well. So everyone in the top 10 that you would expect to be in the top 10, effectively. Time to go for pole, or try to anyway. 39.9 from Lando, that's the time to be. 39.9 from Fernando, that's the time to be. Oh, and not quite beat it, we didn't. 40.05, I think, from me, good enough for P4 on the grid. Still my fastest lap of the weekend, so have to be happy with it.
But don't worry,
less than a tenth separates the top four. Aston Martin, McLaren, Mercedes, 16 milliseconds between myself and George, and ahead of Charles Leclerc, which is pleasing. Lando, though, at the minute, is the one to beat. He was only 13 milliseconds off pole. Fernando and Lando lead the way. Myself and George following close behind. Dry to start, wet weather arriving, then going dry again. Big Grand Prix on the way.
Let's run you through the driver grid.
Praying for grid penalties to for Lando Norris, but I don't think we're going to be that lucky, are we? No, Fernando on pole, Lando second. If George wants to take a grid penalty, that's not the worst thing in the world for us personally, but for the team, it's not great. We both start in the positions where we qualified, which is good for us in the constructors against Ferrari, who were 5th and 7th compared to our 3rd and 4th. I wouldn't be too upset if the race finishes as it starts. Would take us above Ferrari, perhaps, in the constructors, if not very close. Lando would then draw level on points with me in the Drivers' Championship, because he'd get 18 for second, and I'd get 15 for... Actually, no, I'm 4th, aren't I? I kind of want to get podium off George, actually.
What more can I say?
Well, the weather is coming, and we think the weather is coming quickly, so we will start on the softs. There's absolutely... Oh, or will we? Lots on the medium. Okay. Maybe we'll save the softs for the final dry run then? Start on the medium tyre? That's intriguing. Medium soft. Medium soft that way round is only a couple of tenths slower. I'd lean towards going on to the mediums just in case the wet weather doesn't arrive that quickly because the soft tyres will go off quite fast. Saying that, the rain could be with us within 3 laps, and you definitely want to be on the soft, and you could probably go soft at the beginning, soft at the end. But by starting on the mediums, we know we definitely can go soft at the end. So I'm going to start on the mediums. The fact that quite so many have also done the same gives me the confidence that it's not a bad decision to start on the mediums. Lando and Max would be the only 2 on the softs in the top 10. And we'd like to think that with DRS, Lando could just drag us along if he does get past Fernando, or when he gets past Fernando. So we'd be able to keep pace with him, and then we'd be on softs later and he'd be on mediums perhaps. Regardless, I think we've got our strategy sorted. All right, here we go then. We'll have the outside line for La Source, which is good. Better to be the outside than the inside here for the first corner, for sure.
Okay, incredible
But rain supposedly coming in 5 minutes or so.
Keep an eye on the light.
I still think we made the right decision because the rain might not come quickly enough, or sorry, heavily enough to warrant changing. Long hold. The rain might not come heavy enough initially to warrant changing onto the wet tyre right away. Try and hang it around the outside here. Oh, I got stuck up behind George, and Charles Leclerc has leapt from 6th to 2nd. What a start. Or from 5th to 2nd, sorry. What a start by Charles, sorry. Trying to just hang it around the outside of Oscar Piastri there, around or through Uruz and over the top of Radion, which was brave. Lando leads, and Fernando has dropped to 4th here from 1st. He might even have been close to dropping to 5th there if I'd have been able to get past him. George is past him. George still 3rd as Charles Leclerc had a ridiculously good start.
For the rest of the race.
So my title rivals are now 1st and 2nd, and we've dropped from 4th to 5th. So we need to make some progress. Lando in P1 on the soft tyres should just disappear now. But hopefully the fact that the rain is coming quite quickly will mean that he won't get too far down the road. Oh, a lot of understeer there with a heavy car and wake of the car in front disrupting the airflow over the front wing. They've used a lot of their battery in front. Look, they're flashing already. I could have a go at Fernando here. I'm not going to. It's not worth potentially running into Leclerc and George trying to just get myself through. Safely within DRS range, so it's fine.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Good exit. Decent exit. Slipstream. Trying not to use too much battery. They evidently are using battery. Fernando was flashing there. He's flashing again, so they are using their ERS here. Bit too far back to have a go. Fastest first sector, though, of the race so far from me. This is where our high downforce setup is actually going to help. We seem to be competitive enough in a straight line and better through the corners. So provided I can maintain enough battery, we're in a decent spot right now. No rain yet, but it will arrive. Already out of DRS range of Lewis Hamilton behind.
When trailing the car ahead, they're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past.
Front 6 pulling away now. I'll ask about the weather again in a minute. Not close enough to Fernando here. Lock up from Charles Leclerc. Let's ask about that weather.
Okay,
rain imminent.
Be careful out there. Dry's definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
wide. Get away with it. It's fine. Just being patient for now. And we're going to go for Fernando. Rain's falling. Raindrops. Going for it on Fernando. Around the outside. Hold it. Held it. Now then. How heavy is the rain going to fall? Is it going to be to Inters very quickly? Or is it just going to stay dry enough to stick with the tyres we're on for a little while? I'll set the Inters as my next tyre, just in case we need to make a late call to dive into the pits. It could get very wet very quickly. Grip still feels okay for now. And definitely less grip coming out of La Source this time around. We might be on Inter's next lap. It's a long lap here, obviously. George's going to have a look around the outside of Leclerc. Might try and follow him. Oh, George. Not much grip there in the braking zone when George Russell got there. At all. George now going a bit defensive against me, so I might try around the outside here. Then have the inside line for the next turn. Oh, two Mercedes side by side. We get it done. SP3. Now then. Time to not fall too far behind Charles Leclerc. 5.8 seconds, Lando's down the road, but obviously those soft tyres have been significantly quicker than these mediums, and George and Leclerc have been battling a little bit. Grip still feels okay. The issue is when you become the front car of the train, then you're not really in a position to be able to pull away. Waiting for the visual cues that the rain is getting heavier. Like the water bouncing up off the surface of the track. Starting to get the raindrops on the visor. This is going to be a simple overtake, hopefully. On the outside of Charles Leclerc. We would have got it done last lap if George hadn't gotten himself a bit of a swapper on through the chicane there. So that's P2. We're in prime position now to dip into the box behind Lando for a set of Inters when the time comes. And by the feel of the track, the time might be arriving very soon. Starting to lose grip. It might be this next lap that we boxed out. So 151.3 that lap. It's just slow. Definitely eking towards the Inters being the better tyre to be on.
I think it might just be about time to come and
change
these tyres.
Unfortunately, not the opportunity to dip into the pits. There you go, you can see the rain bouncing off the surface now. It's definitely the time to come in. Charles going to get me, but crucially, we're going to stay ahead of George Russell here, so we will get priority in the pits. We will be in this lap for intermediate tyres on lap 7.
Pitting this lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap.
DRS might get disabled throughout the course of this lap as well.
Okay, not sure whether tries or Inters are faster. We're right on the crossover.
And it's only going to get wetter, so I think now's the time. Because it's such a long lap, one more lap might just be too much. The rain lights are on now on the cars as well, flashing, which is a good indicator that conditions are very close to changing.
Use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
And no grip. And now behind George. I'm gonna have to make the overtake because I want to get into the pits first. Oh, the car didn't want to stop. We're in. We're battling side by side with my teammate in the pit lane.
In the pits. He's in the pits now.
Oh my god. That was tense. Proper lunge up the inside of George there. I want to see that again. What that looked like off board. As we come in towards the pits, I've hit the little bar there. George has then driven into me. Oh, that's unfortunate. Just because we've both not quite fit. George is then. I've clipped the wall there with my rear left, and George has then hit the wall and just ghosted. Oh. And then Fernando Alonso just drove quite literally through him. Right, intermediate tyres then. Sorry, George. Oh, I got held behind the Ferrari. We're getting held behind everyone. Oh my god. George got murdered there. So did I. Lando's long gone. Lando is long gone.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
Kind of deserved for the way that we entered the pits, I suppose, but not ideal, that. Not ideal at all. Now we have to hope that the higher downforce
Alonso's ahead of you. We don't want to let this
comes into our benefit in the wet conditions. But I have kind of single-handedly killed our whole team's strategy for this race by trying to finish the lap ahead of George. Alright. It's going to be a hard one to explain in the team debrief after the race, isn't it? Right, now we're hoping it's going to be like Zandvoort, where we've got the pace in the wet over everyone else. Some of the drivers that didn't box last lap in the pits now, so we'll be running P4 as we cross the line. Okay, P5, yeah, even Piastri's come out ahead of us. Okay. Well done, Oscar. He's made that work by doing the extra lap, hasn't he?
Out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes.
Is that it? 10 minutes? Surely more than that. He said the rain was going to last for most of the race in the strategy. We have got the faster car through the corners. We just can't use that pace at the minute. It's a lunge. Lunge that doesn't work. Can we do the switchback? No. Okay, so now the rain is getting heavier again. Heavier again. We might be on wets. We might be on wets for the dry weather returns. Just noticed Lewis has boxed again. Oh, Lewis went into... Wow. Terrible, terrible, terrible decision making from Lewis Hamilton's team and Nico Hulkenberg as well. They switched to Inters, then they boxed the next lap for wets, and have then boxed the lap after that for Inters again. They made the jump to wets, it wasn't wet enough, and have had to come back to the Inters. Race ruined for those two. I'm going to go for the inside line on Oscar. No, outside. Late call to switch to the outside. But it's a good move. Overtake made. That was a really good overtake. Okay, a late switch.
Going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres.
I could very much, or very easily, have lost traction there and just binned it in a wall. The fact that it's going to be going dry soon, I actually don't like. Because a soft set of tyres won't go to the end from here, or even from lap 20. And the mediums I've got obviously are worn. Turns out Lando's decision to start on the softs might have been actually the better call. I could go to the hard tyre to the end, but I don't know whether that'll have any pace in it. It's a real tough call as to what to do when the rain stops. Kind of want the rain to keep going for a little while, even though I'm uncompetitively slow in it. We've got some pace again now. Now the track's drying up and we're in those just a little damp, not actually quite wet conditions. We are drastically quicker than everyone else. What a 1.8, 1.9 second gap on Piastri. Gap to Leclerc has come down from 9 something to under 8. Halved the gap to Fernando. We're about a second a lap quicker than the other cars around us right now. But it is dry. So it's either 2 more stops, a soft set of tyres, and then put the mediums back on, or put the mediums back on and then go to softs at the end.
Get your head down and chin up. There's a long way to go.
Or I put the hard tyres on and we go to the end on the hards. I don't know what the call is. New softs won't go to the end. I could go soft, I think. I could maybe go soft. I could go medium soft.
Tyre situations and
I don't know what to do. I'm going to have to ask chat. Chat, what do? We will put the used medium tyres back on again. To then go another stop for softs at the end. And then if it does end up raining again, then we've got the softs at the very end of the race. Definitely.
We think we might see some rain.
It is going to rain again.
Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
It is going to rain again. So mediums is definitely the right call. Unbelievable. I thought the rain would just last in one big stint, but it's not. It's rained, it's going to dry up, then it's going to rain, then it's going to dry up again. This is the most indifferent weather I think I might have ever raced with, because it's Spa and it's such a long lap.
We had an issue removing the right rear wheel. I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put that behind us now and get back into this race.
DRS hasn't been enabled again yet, but it felt dry.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Looked dry, it felt dry. Let's go and see if it is dry. Tyres are 7, 8 and 9% worn. Right, what's quicker? The other 2 behind are in.
So, all of our tyre pressure data is currently reading 0. Assuming they still look inflated to you, we're going to guess that it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry about.
Lewis Hamilton and Nico Hülkenberg have boxed for dry tyres. So I expect Orlando and Co to do the same this lap. I might have gone a lap too soon. They're in. DRS enabled. But I've lost time. I went a lap too soon.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. George is in the pits. He's in the pits now.
Right, where are we going to come out? They've gone to the hard tyre. They've not put their worn mediums back on again. They've gone to the hard tyre. So we've come out where we were, behind Alonso, albeit slightly further back. I know on a worn medium, they're on fresh hards. What's quicker? Their hards are better than my mediums in the traction zones. But in the corners, I'm quicker. I'm trying to make up for the lack of traction, or not lack of traction, but slightly worse traction with a lot of battery usage. It was close to the fastest lap. Lando just did a 44.4, I think, for the fastest lap.
Seconds.
I'll be surprised if Lando's on mediums, actually. No, he has gone hards. Lando did go soft hard, so they'll probably be on the mediums at the end of the race then, and I'll be on softs. We'll have to wait and see how heavy the rain gets and how long it lasts. We've gotten ourselves within DRS range of Fernando. Just need the FIA to not bring DRS out of action for a little while. We should be able to get back into third.
We're catching the car ahead.
Rain's not
Be
falling
aware, be
as
tired to get
heavily,
into
as
race.
quickly this time. We are closing on Leclerc as well. Whether we're closing on Lando, I highly doubt, but we are closing on Leclerc. I'm not going to be close enough, I don't think. He says, as he's just close enough. P3.
It's still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
There goes Fernando's, nothing I can do about that. It's a weird one at the minute because I'm slipping about a bit more than everyone else because my mediums are quite worn now. So I don't know whether I'm getting a bit of an unrealistic idea about how little grip there is. There might be more grip. It's just that my tyres won't give it to me. Because those on the hards are significantly quicker than me now. The gap to Charles was 5.8, it's now 6.9, it's gone well back up again. I don't want to make the jump to Inters too soon. I don't know whether to box or not. I think it's just my tyres that are causing the issue.
Right, we're no longer sure that these tyres are the right ones. It might be time to come in and change.
Perfect. All right.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
I will then. Inters are going on this lap then. The team have called it. I need a smooth stop, please, everyone. Please, everyone.
Okay, mate, that's it. Go, go, go. Perfect job from you and the crew there,
Right.
mate. We're delighted.
We did
with
that. We did that based on the team. The team said box now. Or the team said that they're not sure that we're on the right
Up to
tyre.
speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
So we're now on the Inters. Only down as far as 8th at the minute. Now we keep an eye on the deltas and see whether that was or was not the right call. We're drastically gaining time. We've made the right call. Lando continues on. Okay. Are they just not going to box in these conditions and wait for it to dry up?
DRS has been disabled.
DRS disabled.
DRS will be off.
Charles is
Any
in.
further updates?
Lando did not box. Charles does. Lando's doing another lap on his dry tyres. It's going to cost him a lot of time. If Lando wants to have a little spinala, he's more than welcome. That's us past
Okay,
Fernando
George is coming
Alonso
in for his
with an
stop.
undercut. Goodbye. "40 seconds to Lando."
Okay, mate. Your lap times are all over the place
6.6
right now. We've got
to
have
Charles.
consistency.
It needs to stop raining soon, otherwise we'll get too close to the end of the race, and even if it dries up, we won't have enough time left in the race to box and make up what we lose in the pits. It will be a struggle to the end on the worn Inters in dry conditions scenario, which isn't really going to suit us. It needs to dry up in the next 5 laps, really. And, well, judging by conditions right now, you wouldn't say that that's going to happen. 5 laps to go as we cross the line. If there's any dry track running at the end, it will not be on dry tyres. It will be on worn inters. Because there's not going to be enough time to earn back whatever is lost from a pit stop. There's a yellow flag around the third sector. I think there's a Sauber going slowly. There is a Sauber going slowly. Zhou Guanyu is out.
Okay, they're out of this
VSC.
race. Okay, caution, caution.
A full safety car would be ridiculous.
Speed and maintain a positive delta on your
I've got to
dash.
try and make the most of this
Virtual
VSC
safety
if we
cars
can.
just been-
2.6 to Charles. 4 laps to go as we cross the line. Is P2 doable? Just trying to minimise the damage lost to Lando in the championship. Lando Norris will lead the World Championship after this Grand Prix. Unless he retires in the next 4 laps. But by how many points he leads the World Championship depends on whether we finish 2nd or 3rd.
We anticipate an end to this rain in around 5 minutes.
Yeah, too little, too late, mate. Too little, too late. 1.6 seconds, 1.7 seconds. 2 laps to go. I don't think we're going to get it done. It would take a mistake from Charles now. We'll try and keep the pressure on and force a mistake if we can. We've been closing the whole stint. At one point, Charles was 9+ seconds ahead of us. He's now very nearly under 1. But with only a lap and a half to go, don't think we're going to have enough time to get it done. I think I would have needed an extra 2 or 3 laps worth of race time to be able to take the position from Charles. Right, time to concentrate. 6 tenths.
Okay, mate, this is the final lap
It
of
might
the
be
race.
doable.
Final lap.
It might be doable into the bus stop chicane at the end of the last lap.
Yeah, a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff.
Come on. Just got to stick with him. We'll try and get him into the bus stop. There is traffic coming up, but we're not quite close enough, thankfully, for it to affect how this battle plays out. I'm just going to save battery and try and get him on the run down to the bus stop. I'll make sure I get everything right between here and there, though, so forgive me for shutting up and concentrating. Lando wins. I've got to go for it. Get it stopped. Charles turned into me. I had got it stopped. P2. Charles turned into me there. I am absolutely certain that that was a legal overtake. Charles turned in here. I am getting it stopped. I am definitely getting that stopped. You see I'm turning. Charles just needs to pull out of this. The position is gone. The position is gone. He just needs to back out. Like, without the contact, I'm definitely making the corner. He's just turned into me. So he just needs to back out of that earlier, as far as I'm concerned. That is a P2. Oh.
Yes, thank you.
That was difficult, very difficult, but we got it done in the end, and that was intriguing. Driver of the day, apologies to George. That was too much on my part with George Russell, but that overtake I think is legitimate. I think that's just the AI turning in when I'm there.
They're making their way out onto
when in real life Charles would just accept that I'd taken the spot.
Formula One action.
Lando gets an 8-point swing on us, so we will be 5 points behind Lando Norris in the Drivers' Championship as we head into the next Grand Prix through the summer break. So, GG Lando. He's won 5 in a row, which is more than anyone else has done all season long. I've won 4 in a row. Charles has won 3 in a row. Lando's now won 5. And he leads the championship by 5 points, I believe, if my mathematics is correct. Up next is actually the Zandvoort race we were on about earlier, I think. Belgium to the Netherlands after the season break, evidently. And it is indeed the Dutch Grand Prix that's on the way next. I have a heated rivalry at the minute with my teammate, George Russell. I got, lol, an awareness completion, lol, and a pace. Certainly awareness was not there with my teammate. We'll start the season break. Can't spend anything on the car at the minute, so we will just go to the Dutch Grand Prix. But what I would like to do is go with the balanced tyre allocation here, please. The softs don't last that well, but 2 sets of mediums will be better than 2 sets of hards. We shall go to the race weekend and see what the weather is like at the seaside. Obviously, it can rain quite heavily in the Netherlands as well, just as wet a country as Belgium or the UK, but fully dry all the way through. Weather forecast is sun, sunny, sun. And yes, a 5-point deficit now to Lando Norris in the championship. A 12-point deficit to Ferrari in the championship as well. We've closed the gap in the constructors, but lost top spot in the drivers. We need to stop Lando Norris somehow, but nobody can stop Lando Norris at the minute. He's winning, and winning by a margin every single race weekend. Which is not ideal, really, but fair play to him for having the pace to do it. Is this what we're going to be seeing from Lando Norris in real life this season? We shall wait and see. 19%, but it's done more laps. We'll go with 21%, then do the percentages rather than the amount of laps that it's done. So that will be all for us for Belgium. That was an entertaining Grand Prix. As Ad said in the chat, I was a very cheeky boy in that Grand Prix, but lucky on occasion, and we got the job done. In part, anyway. P2 at Spa. Lando is a big favourite for this title now. We're just over halfway through the season. We're going to need to start stopping this Lando Norris dominance that could bore fans. That's all for me for now. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I shall see you at the seaside. Toodaloo.